Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever college basketball player spotlight here on the channel. The college basketball season is upon us as we prepare for another exciting year that starts back after a COVID season. I'm Austin Groft, and here today is our first guest of the show, Ryan Moffatt, starting guard forward hybrid out of Colgate University. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Austin.
Yes, sir. So basically in this player spotlight, we're just going to ask a couple of questions, get ready for the season. Got a lot of questions asked for you today, Ryan. So just first off, what's it feeling like going to this season? Like there's actually going to be fans in the stadium because there's a lot of hype with college football. You know, those, especially here in Penn State, Beaver Stadium, the fans have been filled up the stadium all across the nation. You can see it's been a great atmosphere so far. So what's it like knowing it's going to be like that this year for college basketball?
Yeah, we're definitely very excited for that. Last year we played all of our games with no fans except for our March Madness game against Arkansas. We got a little taste of a few thousand fans. But we're definitely very excited for that, and for our home opener on November 9th. We're expecting a big crowd, and we're really excited for that.
Yeah, going back to that game against Arkansas in March Madness. I just want to hear what your opinion was. Like that was your first time playing in March Madness, and just like what was the whole overall experience like during like a COVID season like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was my first experience with March Madness in general, so I didn't really know what it would look like in a normal year. But definitely, it was definitely different with all the COVID protocols. But still, I mean, it was a dream come true. I've been watching March Madness my entire life, ever since I can remember. So to play in that and have that experience was definitely something I'll never forget, but also something that I hope I can experience at least one more time in my career.
Yeah, and let's talk about like the game a little bit. Like you guys played really well in that first half against Arkansas. I think you were up at like 14 at one point. And in the second half coming back, they just threw that full court defense on you guys, kind of threw you guys off guard. So using that game as like a power five team that you normally wouldn't play against, like you did last year, since you just stuck with conference play, how do you take that game and use it as a learning piece going into this season?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be used as a great learning experience for all of us that are coming back because, like you said, we didn't play any Power Five schools last year. So we have the film from that game. We see what went wrong, what we could do better, and then we try to improve upon that in the non-conference this year to get ready to where we want to go eventually.
Yeah, so let's talk about your team now this year. We were talking about a little bit before we came into this meeting, Jordan Burns, the conference player of the year last year. So with the departure of him, you return a lot of other great role players and scorers. Who do you see stepping up this season, or how do you guys going to plan on filling that gap that Jordan Burns had for you guys?
Yeah, losing JB is definitely a big loss for us. He's a great leader, obviously a great player. But I think we have a lot of guys that are ready to step up and fill bigger roles. I mean, just looking at our guards, Nelly Cummings, Tucker Richardson, and Jack Ferguson, all like can really score the ball. And those would be our three starting guards this year. Looking to really have a big year, and I'm expecting big things out of all of them as they are themselves. So Jack Ferguson was our sixth man last year. He was sixth man for like the last 3 years, pretty much. So he's a fifth year, so he's gonna fill that role, moving to the starting lineup, which I know he'll be ready for, and we're all excited for him to step up in a big way again this year.
And what about your big guys and Jeff Woodard and Keegan Records? Tell me a little bit about them, what you're anticipating with them this year.
Yeah, I mean we definitely have a lot of depth in the front court as well with Keegan, Jeff, and then Malcolm Bailey. He's been hurt the last 2 years. So I'm looking to come into the rotation as well. So definitely a lot of experience now, in the front court, and a bunch of big bodies who I feel like can have really big impacts on games.
Who's like a new or like younger guy that's on this roster that you could see possibly making an impact on the season this year, or that's going to provide big minutes off the bench for you guys?
Um, I wouldn't say he's young. I guess I think maybe like his fifth year of college, but Oliver Lynch Daniels, he was definitely in the rotation last year a lot. But I think his minutes will definitely increase and go up, and I think yeah, he's working really hard every day in practice. He's probably the hardest worker I've ever played with, and I think he's ready for a nice season here.
Mm-hmm. And like just looking into this season with it being like your first time, because you started your first game last year on January 2nd, and that was like your first experience being a starter. And then obviously this year you're gonna be starting for the first time playing with fans, as we were talking about. So going into this season, what's like the biggest thing you're looking forward to? Is it the fans, or is there something else you're looking forward to?
Um, I'm definitely excited. For the fans. My parents are definitely excited as well to
Yeah.
be able to come watch me play. Um, but I mean, just getting back out there, I guess. It's always super exciting. At the beginning of the year, like you said, seeing all these atmospheres of college football, like just having some life in the stadium is definitely going to be exciting. And but just in general, I'm just excited, ready to get back out there with my teammates and go to war.
Obviously for this year, it's the goal for you guys to win a conference championship and make March Madness. But I was asking, what is an individual goal you have for yourself this season?
Um, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think I'm still going to have a similar role as last year. I mean, I'm not going to have to go out there and score, that many points because we have guys who can do that. So I think just again trying to improve upon my defense and doing all like the little things that I did last year pretty well, and just trying to do all that better. And then I mean, trying to shoot it more and also better. So not being able to be left open, like having to definitely be a threat from the outside, something I'm working on and hoping to improve on from last year for sure.
Awesome. Well, really thank you for joining in today. That's basically going to conclude our first edition of the College Basketball Player Spotlight here on the channel. As I said again, thank you again for your time, Ryan, and good luck this season. Really looking forward to watching you play. And thank you all for watching.
Thanks for having me, Austin.